Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Kay Reads, and I'm back with another indie spotlight. And today, this one is from South Carolina. She's from Columbia, and I'm from Somerville, so about an hour, less than maybe 5:45, depending on how you drive the interstate. I'm very excited to have her. I have three of her books right here. It's with If I Could Fall in Love, the first book of the Jareau Family series, as well as the first of the novella family series. But I've basically been reading this author for about 3 to 4 years now. Everything else is basically on my Kindle that is currently charging right now. And I'm super excited to have her. So I have Miss Kimberly Brown. How are you this morning?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to that. I'm very excited. So I'm gonna hop in. I ask two questions every time I have somebody on. How and why did you start writing?
Um, I think writing has always been like an escape for me. It's a very calming thing. I deal with anxiety, a lot of anxiety, so I think writing helps me just calm my nerves and get whatever I'm feeling out, whether it's journal writing or writing poetry or writing just short stories or full-length novels. It's just something that's always been very common for me. I think I started in like middle school, like sixth grade, and it started with short stories and my failed attempt at trying to write songs. But I think during high school, it really just blossomed into a love of storytelling. So that's kind of just how it started for me.
Oh, so we're going to hop on in with books. Let's talk about your recent book, Hold Me While You Wait. I read that book in a day, ate it up. Whenever I think of Kimberly Brown, I think of the bae that is rough around the edges, but at the same time, you come at that woman, I'm gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what Xander was. Xander was freaking amazing bae. And not only was he amazing bae, but he was also amazing father.
Mm-hmm.
So what in your mind came to Xander? And I believe this was the first time that you touched on vitiligo as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, with his character, I used to work before I started writing full time. I used to work for the Department of Mental Health here. And, I always encounter kids that have a rough background, a lot of them similar to his, with not really having active parental figures or having parental figures, and they're just kind of doing their own thing. The kids are basically raising themselves. With him, I think I wanted to show that just because you were not raised on love, you were raised on survival, that it doesn't mean that you can't overcome your circumstances and not become or not remain a product of your environment. Um, and then with the whole vitiligo thing, I think I just I wanted him to have, I wanted a character that kind of had, I wouldn't say a bunch of odds against him, but we all know that kids can be very cruel, adults can be very cruel, and with his daughter having the same thing, um, I think I wanted him to be able to help her navigate better than him not having. Okay, I'm getting confused. Not
You're
confused,
fine.
girl. I think with him and his daughter having it, I think I wanted him to be able to help her navigate life with that better than he had someone helping him navigate life with it.
Got it. Okay. Because the affirmations that he poured into her, and even though the school situation happened, and shout out, I forgot her name. Don't remind me.
Jasmine.
Yes. Shout out to Jazz. Jazz was a ride or die friend.
She was. I loved her.
And shout out to her aunt as well. See, I can't forget this. Y'all, it's early in the morning. It's 9 o'clock right now. So excuse me if I get the names mixed up. But her aunt,
So Maya.
Maya, yes, she was just so, cause like, what's the word? If I had a sister, I want a sister like Samaya.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, you know, even though the divorce that she had with her fucked baby daddy, because as a man, like, did he not realize, like, if the shoe was on the other foot and, like, say he had a brother or something, and the brother was like, hey, I need you to watch my child or anything happens to me. And you know what I'm saying? Like, do you not realize, like, if the shoe was on the other foot, would you do the same? Like, if somebody did the same to you, would you divorce her then too? Like, I didn't understand his logic when he was just like, either choose her or choose me and your son.
You
What do
know,
you
men are not short on audacity.
I was like, what did you think she was going to choose? Because, like, at the end of the day, we could get divorced tomorrow, and my sister still would have been alive. I still would have had my sister.
Exactly.
So I'm like, well, I mean, my thing is, I'm happy Xander put his ass in his place. I finally realized he woke up and realized exactly how fucked up his logic was when it came to Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I love their sit down, even though it took forever, but at the same time, was on her time, like somebody told him. She's like, I'm not rushing her to have a conversation with you because you're the one who put yourself in this predicament.
I think I wanted to stress that. I feel like oftentimes people try to force relationships that try to force kids to have relationships with people who either have disrespected them or who've not treated them the best. And I think they have to remember that these kids are they're people too. So they have feelings and their feelings matter. What they want matters and how they feel matters. So I would never force any child to have a relationship with someone who's hurt them to the degree that he's hurt her.
Yeah. And I also think too that you touched on uh especially in the African American community, a general curse that does happen like that. When like you have parents who like you like, oh yeah, I know this aunt or this cousin did something to you, but you should still say hi. No, I shouldn't.
Right. It's like this whole thing
If
of what
you
happens in this house stays in this
exactly.
house. No, we're not doing that. We are
So,
not doing that.
yeah, so definitely kudos to you for that book. Also, baby mama drama. What made you want her to come back and be apologetic as she was? Because at first when she came back and first when she popped up at his job, Xander had every right. And then for her to have the audacity to show up at the house, like what in your mind when you was writing her, what made you want to be like, all right, how can I make her seem like the bad guy by the end of the day? She just like want to be forgiven for what she did.
With Mona, I had a love-hate relationship with Mona. Um, I definitely feel like I felt like she was wrong for showing up the way that she did, and she made it very clear that she did not want to have the child. She tried to abort the child, and Xander had to end up basically paying her like $20,000 to continue with the pregnancy because she was not trying to have the baby. But it's the fact that after she was born, he asked her, do you want to hold her? Do you want to look at her? He tried to get her to do the right thing. And she just was blatantly like, I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with the baby. I don't want anything to do with you. Just give me my money and you can go on about your business. So for her to show up 12 years later, I don't even think I knew that was going to happen like that.
Mm,
I mean, you're a writer yourself, so you know the characters kind of speak to you and they kind of tell their own stories.
exactly.
Yeah, that just kind of her showing up like that. In my mind, how I was gonna write it, she was gonna cause a whole lot of drama. Like I felt like at one point she was gonna be around and then she was gonna decide, oh, this is not for me, and she was gonna leave again. But she was in my ear and she was telling me, we're not gonna do this. Like I really want to be here for my child, so I'm gonna be here by any means necessary. And she was very vigilant
Mhm.
trying to get him to talk to her, starting with the email. And then when he would not, when he said just no to the email, she comes showing up at his job. that didn't go very well. So she went to the next best thing. I'm emailing you, I'm calling you, you're not answering the phone, so I'm just gonna pop up at your house. Which that was a very bold move. But I felt like she was very serious about it. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, you waited 12 years," but she stated that she had been thinking about it for years beforehand.
Yeah.
I think even before her whole issue with not being able to have kids and her husband divorcing her, she had been thinking about it. So I think that was just the built up of all of her years of emotions about it and thinking about it and regret just coming to a head where she just showed up and kind of just pushed herself into her daughter's life.
I also think too is like you said, with her marriage failing, I think her having that regret, but also her marriage not working out, getting divorced, and then her realizing that she couldn't have kids. In my head, when I read it, I felt like, okay, that must have been like the final straw. To where she like, all right, I have a full child right here. He's about to be a teenager. And my actions made me not want to do this. I was like, damn, she might be the only way to actually have a mother-daughter relationship to let me ease my way back in. Now, the way that she did it, I understand completely why Xander did what he did. But at the same time, I'm glad Xander was just like, okay, we're going to do a test run.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fuck her up again mentally, then you're cut off completely.
Right.
Lena did the right thing with that. But I was very shocked with Elliot and Mona getting together.
Oh, that was not even planned either. But that's what happened. I think I still don't like Elliot. I don't. Even though I somewhat redeemed him, I still don't like him. And if it was up to me, he probably would not have had the happy ending that he got. Um, I know some people have asked for a spinoff of them. That's not happening.
God.
I'm not.
I wouldn't want. I wanted. No offense to you, but I don't think I would have read it. He just left.
No, because y'all didn't like him in the book. Why would I do a spinoff?
There's no point. There is no point.
No. All you know is him and Mona are together. They're happy.
That's it. The door
whole
closed on that.
blended family dynamic, it worked out for them.
So let's go into another family. To me, I feel like it's one of your biggest stories because the Jareau family. This is the first book. Did you expect this series to be popular as it is?
I did not, especially because I didn't release the books like back to back to back. So there's been some time spaced out in between them because I have other contracted obligations that I had to take care of too. But I did not expect it to just be what it is. And I don't think I expected people to love them as much as they love them. Like people are continuously asking for spinoff after spinoff after spinoff. In my reader group, they will not get off my neck.
You did a spinoff.
They will not get off my neck.
Because Isaac and Mama are coming. Mama Walker.
Yeah, I am working
so excited.
Hopefully, it's going to be a novella. The content is a little difficult to keep it a novella, but it is going to be a novella. It is not a full length. My goal is for it to come out in February. So fingers crossed with that. But no, I did not expect it to be as big as it was, but I am so grateful for that. I think when I initially decided I was going to do a series, I did want it to be, well received and create a family that was very well loved, but this has been it's been overwhelming in the best way.
So before we get into the series, I have a question. Who is your favorite sibling?
My favorite Jareau? It would have to be Papa Jareau. I love him. I just love him so much. Like Papa is the Papa I wish I had.
So we're gonna get into the first one because this is the only one I have. I did read all, but what made you want Jamison to not only be this like big provider, not only for his kids but his family as well, to fall for Olivia as hard as he did?
I think sometimes with grief, we get so stuck in feeling like we were feeling, and so stuck on the time that we spent with people that we love that sometimes we don't know how to move on from that. And I feel like sometimes it takes someone else forcing those, I wouldn't say forcing those feelings up out of you, but forcing you to realize that, life does go on, and the person that you were in love with that you may have lost, they wouldn't want life to just stop for you. I feel like she was just a breath of fresh air for him.
But I definitely believe that. And then we go into his elder brother Walker in Georgia.
I love Walker in Georgia.
Oh,
I
geez.
think they
That
were
was
very
such
helpful.
a back and forth for me reading it. I was just like, y'all want each other.
I was a little worried about that one. I was a little worried that people would think, oh, they're spending half the book not even being together and not working on anything. But from where they came from in book one to their book, they had a lot of growing to do.
Yes, they did.
They had a lot of growing to do. They had a lot of come to terms with feelings that neither one of them claimed that they wanted to have. But Walker knew. I think Walker always. Oh, shoot. I think Walker always knew that he liked Ja.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the whole, oh, you're not talking to nobody else. Like he was very. I wouldn't say possessive over her, but he was a little possessive over her. So for him to grow up enough to be able to come to her and tell her, like, even though we're not together, if we never get it together, I still want to be able to be your friend because I need you in my life in some capacity. I feel like that was a big turning point for him because he was adamant that he was just gonna live out his whole phase forever.
Did you think that in like the beginning of the book when she finally came to tell him, like, listen, I'm done. Like, either we get together or we don't, and I'm done. Did you think in Walker's mind that it was going to be as long as it was?
No, I think he thought it was going to be like it's been every other time she told him she's done with him. They were going to argue for a couple of weeks or whatnot, and she would call him to come over, and that would be it. He was not expecting it to be months and months and months. He definitely was not expecting her to be out here trying to date anybody else. So,
Especially in his face.
right, in his face.
He was really upset about that.
He was sick about that.
And then we go on to Cartel, and that one really broke me. I like cried, like even crying, because that one touched me so much because Anita and the situation that she was in with the toxic abuse and realizing exactly how bad her ex-husband treated her. Mm-hmm. And she always felt like it's like one of those things where when you're in a relationship and you really, like I said, you cut off from the world, you don't know anybody, the only you is pinned on her, depending on that person. My heart broke for her. But I'm so happy that she had a Cartel, as a friend. I'm so happy that when she finally left, even though she got beaten up badly in the hotel, Papa and Mama Jareau decided to, like, no, I don't know you like that, but you can stay here as long as you can. Right. And I appreciate things like that.
That one was very heavy for me. Like, after I finished writing that one, like, what did I write after that one? I don't know what I wrote after that one, but I knew I needed, after writing that one, I knew I needed my next release to be either something happy or something sexy, because it took so much out of me emotionally to have to put myself in the mind frame of Adita's character to make her go through all the taunting and the disrespect, the abuse, everything that she went through. I went through that in my head as I was writing it for her. So it was very heavy. But like you said, I'm very glad that she had Cartel, even in just a friend capacity, to help her kind of navigate through that. Because if she had to just do it by herself, I don't think my girl would have survived that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
If it was just her by herself, I don't think she would have survived it.
Yeah, I think she legit.
Like the scene that she had in the hospital, I think eventually she probably would have fully went through with it if she had to continue to deal with Dominic.
I was just about to say that I really do think that she would have, like, not survived, but at the same time, I feel as if too with Cartel and with even though his bitch ass Dominic burned down his freaking restaurant, I was like, you that upset for your actions that you don't see that you did?
Narcissists, they just, oh, they're going to do it every single time.
That's true.
Everything is going to be somebody else's fault. And if they can't have their way, they just have a whole tantrum.
And then we want to move right along to the only girl of the family,
Elena. I
Elena
love Elena.
Roosevelt. Do you think that the situation with Adina kind of like encouraged Elena in the situation that she was in previously to finally like, all right, I need to stop playing and come home?
I think he did, especially with Cartel almost dying in his book and her having to come back from Spain, excuse me, just to be with the family and make sure that he's okay. I think she realized that life is short. Things are happening back home with my family. My brother. One of my brothers is almost dying. The other one is getting married. Like I need to be with my family. Like it's been long enough, and I don't think she was expecting what happened at the beginning of her book to happen as quick when she came home. I'm sure she knew that eventually she was gonna have to come clean about her past and
Yeah.
exactly why she left. But I don't think she thought it was going to be forced upon her the way that it was forced upon her. But I definitely do think the events in Cartel's book were one of the main reasons why she decided that she was coming home.
And I also like the fact too that Roosevelt, her like, even though it was like it was a friendship that became into a relationship. And then you still had, his baby mama upset that she's moving on. Like, man, we haven't been together, I've been broken up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that he does not want you anymore. He's only there for the child. Be there for the child.
Here, every single time he
Every
made that.
time he made it super clear to her, like, listen, we're not together. You're not gonna dictate on who I can and who I cannot date. As long as she's good with my daughter, why would you care?
Exactly. And he tried to be so respectful about it. But I feel like eventually if she hadn't got it together, she was gonna bring it up out of him, aside that neither one of them knew existed.
Mm-hmm.
She was definitely trying.
I agree. And then we go to the baby boy, the comedian,
Reese.
Mr. Freaking Reese. He shocked me in his book.
He shocked me too.
I was not expecting him to really put his foot down with his main character. And excuse me, it's early. I'm forgetting the names.
Corelli.
I'm a bad person right now. Sorry, y'all. It's morning time. It's not even 9:30 yet. But yeah, so what in her mind did you really expect to be with her baby daddy who was in jail? They get out and they be a big one happy family, because in my mind, I was like, girl, it's not gonna work like that.
I think she expected them to be one big happy family, but I think she was more so willing to give the relationship a try just because she wanted her daughter to have the whole family aspect.
Those
Like,
are the worst ones.
right, right. It backfired horribly, but
Time.
time and time again, and it backfired horribly. But I think she really wanted to have the family aspect for Bellamy. Like she grew up in a two-parent household. Miller did not. He had his mama with all of her baby daddies.
Oh, she was now
All
that
of her
was a
baby daddies.
narcissist and an enabler. Like I never seen one.
She was.
Oh my gosh, she was horrible.
I did not like her. She's on the list along with Winnie Coltrane and what's the girl's name? What's her name? Nuri's mama from
Yeah.
Power Over Me. She's on the list with them too. The mamas we just want to slap one good time.
I just didn't understand why she would blame Corelli for her son's actions. That's a grown ass man.
Exactly. But she didn't raise him with accountability either. You
Mm.
know, Corelli always stated that she saw Miller as a meal ticket. So if Miller didn't have any money to give her, then she wasn't trying to hear it.
Got you. I don't know. So we have two more weddings
Yes, we do.
to get to. I also love the fact that each wedding is color coordinated.
Yes.
I thought that was
Wedding colors matches the color of the book, the whole book.
yes, I love that. Can you give us
Aisha Bree, she did all of the wedding
shout
covers.
out to Aisha Bree?
Yes, Shaquilla James did the series cover, the novels covers. So
Shout out to them. Can you give us
I think
any
they did.
color coordination of who of Miss Elena's book that's coming? 'Cause I know her book coming first and then Reese's.
So she is next to me. Let me look it up because I have it in my. I have it
Ooh,
in my book.
exclusive.
What is it? Okay, her colors are rose gold, white, and silver.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I cannot
And then
wait.
Reese's colors. This is. I'm excited for Reese's book. For one, did you? I felt like EJ from Hold Me While You Wait, the little boy. I
Mhm.
felt like he was Reese reincarnated.
He was a
I feel
definitely
like
definitely was
eventually,
the comedic relief of the
I
story.
feel like they need to meet at some point. They need to meet, so they might meet in his book. But his colors are red, black, and white,
Ooh, dope.
and I think he's gonna do. I think Reese might do. Reese might do the most in his book only because he's excited, and of course he's Reese. So why wouldn't he do the most?
I feel like Reese might be the groomzilla of the bunch.
You know what?
He's going I feel like he's going to be the most like you know how like Jameson, yeah, Jameson Cartel, they were like in Walker, they were like we were in it, whatever you want to do, whatever the wife wanted to do, they were cool with it. But I feel like Reese going to be at every cake testing. He's going to be at every time they got a plan with the event, he's going to be there. He's going to put in his 2 cents. Like, I don't like this. I like that. I don't like that. I like this. I feel like he's going to be the groomzilla. If things don't go his way, he's going to be very dramatic in his own way.
Just because he's Reese. I don't know. I don't know. He hasn't spoken to me about how he's going to act at this wedding just yet. He did start on Elena's wedding, so that is
Okay.
my goal. If I can finish Isaac and Alicia's book and get it out at least like mid-February, the beginning of March, I want to have the Elena and Roosevelt's wedding out.
Ooh,
If
got,
not the
got
end
exclusive.
of this month, but we shall see.
Oh,
We shall see.
one more thing before we get into the big event that's coming soon.
Yeah.
You have a traditional book that's coming out.
I do, and I'm so excited, but
And
I'm so jealous about
congratulations to
that.
you for that. How was that? Like, I know it's coming soon. I know you're excited. If you guys don't know, I work in a library and I already put it on the library request sheet for it to come into my library,
I appreciate you.
of course. And there's a lot of books, other books that I did put that I'm just waiting for upper ups to confirm it, and hopefully we have them soon. But your book is called Courage to Love Again.
Yes.
Can you give us a little details about what the book is about?
So we have Pasha and we have Caleb. Pasha is coming out of, I wouldn't say it wasn't always a bad marriage, but she had some fertility issues. She had a miscarriage, and after that, she has to deal with postpartum. She was dealing with depression, anxiety. So she wasn't herself. She wasn't who her husband was used to. And he couldn't seem to grasp the fact that she was dealing with a whole lot on her plate. In addition to all of that, she had lost her parents as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
she felt like she had the weight of the world on her shoulders. So she was not herself. And he couldn't seem to, he couldn't be bothered to be there to be supportive. So she's dealing with that. And then we have Caleb. Caleb he owns like a car service. It's something like Uber.
Mhm.
Um, but it's also a legitimate car service where he'll come and like show you around different places. Um, and when the drama with her husband happens, she is calling him to come pick her up. Like, they've never met before, they don't know anything about each other, but he happens to be the person that picks up for her to come get her. And their relationship, it's just it. I feel like it was so beautiful because they built a genuine friendship. Like he was genuinely attracted to her from like the first time he saw her, but he did not pressure her. He didn't rush her into jumping into something when she was just trying to get out of the relationship she was in. He just offered her a genuine friendship, a genuine type of love, a genuine I care about you and your well-being. And whenever you're ready to have something more serious, I'll be right here. But I think it was a beautiful love story of healing and finding your finding your way back to the people, the person that you were, like the things you love to do, the people that you love to be around. Um, it was about not only finding the courage to allow somebody else to love you, but learning to love yourself again after you've just not felt like you.
I love that. I love that. I cannot wait to read this book.
You're gonna cry. You're definitely
I
gonna
feel like I am, but I was about this little tears about to drop right now.
just get you
So,
a box of tissues. You're gonna cry. You
so
might need some wine too,
okay,
because
so
that
don't read.
husband's gonna get on your nerve.
Okay, so
But
don't read at work. Got it. Okay.
yeah, don't read the
So,
work.
so before we get out of here, I have two more questions for you. You have the event that's coming up in October, Southern Hearts and Sign Kisses with Aisha Bree. I'm super excited because hello, am one of the participating authors in it, and I'm so excited. Can you give us a little bit about the event?
Oh, okay. So it was created by me and Aisha Bree. And we just kind of wanted to, you know, South Carolina is, I wouldn't say it's a small state, but we don't have a whole lot of book related things going on. And I don't think when I first became an author, I don't think I realized just how big the book community was
Same.
until my books started getting out there. And I'm like, you know what? I want to go to book events, but I don't, maybe sometimes I don't want to travel. And I'm like, we never have anything like this here. So we were talking about it. And we were like, you know what? We should throw one. And it just kind of from there, we discussed the name of it, the colors, trying to come up with exactly what we saw for the lineup for like just our first year. I know we wanted to have quite a nice lineup for the first year, like very popular people, just because it was our first one. And I was surprised that so many people said yes. Like it started off with, I think we wanted 20. And when those 20 confirmed, we were like, okay, we got room for like maybe like 5 more. And then the 5 other people confirmed. And then once we actually put the list out for people to see who was there, we got a lot of inboxes about, oh, I want to be a part of it. So we ended up adding 5 more people. We still had people emailing us or
Wow.
in our inbox, so we had to cut it off. We didn't have enough. I don't think we would have had enough space to add as many people that were
Yeah.
asking. So maybe next year we can add a few more people or add some different people.
Mhm.
But just for this year, this is just what it's going to be. Um, I think I'm so excited for it.
I'm excited for it too.
Um, it's just gonna be a very intimate, very laid back experience, you know. Uh, I don't know if she's told anybody other than the participating authors, but it's gonna be the mixer. It's gonna be a little pajama jam, so like a a house party type of feel. So
Come on
everybody,
now.
yes, everybody should come in pajamas, appropriate pajamas. We're
Course.
not doing lingerie. We're doing pajamas, not lingerie. It's not that type of party. But I'm just really excited for it. I am really excited for it. Uh, we have the space that we're having is a very when we walked into the space for the first time, I just fell in love with it. We originally had 2 different spaces that we were looking at. The
Mhm.
first space had a really nice big like chandelier and the little
The drapes and stuff.
yes, and it went in with the romance vibes, but as we kept adding people, it's like, okay, you know what, this might not be a big enough space. But then we learned they had a sister space,
Mhm.
and we went to go see them and was like, okay, yeah, this is completely big enough. But I am so excited. Her mom is actually going to be helping us decorate. Like she has a legit decorating business for like event decorating and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I'm excited to see what she comes up with. So we're still, it's been planned out. We're just in the process now of gathering like our decorations and deciding like what kind of games and food and stuff we kind of want to have. But I'm
Well,
nervous, very nervous,
like it
but
was
very excited.
successful. I paid my table fee. My mom is coming with me, so and she'll actually get to experience exactly like what like our first event for her was the One Love, and she
Mhm.
got to say, okay, this is how it is. But when I told her that I got participated in South, here in the home state, and she's really going to see exactly how many other Black romance authors and the authors at that there is. So she's kind
Yeah.
of more excited than I am.
Listen, that was another thing. Like because it's in South Carolina, we didn't get everybody that we wanted from South Carolina. Because I think if we had gotten everybody from South Carolina, it
It would
probably
have
would
been
have,
the list would have been full.
yeah, it would have been filled. So we wanted to give other people outside of South Carolina authors to a chance to be a part of it. But I feel like from here on out, every year it's gonna be mainly South Carolina authors because I mean this is our state, so we got to put on for each other. But I would love to have different authors from all the areas around South Carolina to be a part of it next year as well. Um, but like I said, we don't have things like this around here, so if we don't have it, why don't you just create it for yourself?
Exactly. I makes perfect sense on that. Okay, so I have two more questions and then we are out of here. What does Black romance mean to you?
Oh, me, I feel like Black romance is finding love that is not rooted in struggle. It's not rooted in how much you can take from somebody or you having to prove how strong you are. Like I feel like you should be able to be vulnerable with your partner, whether it's male or female. Um, it should be comforting. It should just make you feel good.
Hmm.
And I think I use that example a lot in my books, like that with not being rooted in struggle, because so many people feel like, oh, we've been through the trenches together and we're just supposed to be together. Love is not supposed to make you struggle at all. Like it's not supposed to make you feel like you hate yourself or you don't want to be here. I don't feel like that's love at all. Like love is just supposed to be exactly what it is. It's supposed to be something beautiful. It shouldn't, of course, you have your ups and downs with people, but I feel like within a relationship, you're gonna have your good days, you're gonna have your bad days. But if at the end of the day you still feel the same way about that person, if nothing about the love that you share makes you feel like you have to change yourself or makes you feel like you have to be someone else for that person to love you, then you should that's how I feel about love. Like you should just be able to fully and unapologetically be yourself with the person that you're with.
I like that answer. I'm gonna piggyback. I feel like with love, especially if you, like you said before, with the trenches, if you guys can't grow out of that, if you
Exactly.
guys are just stagnant, that's not love either.
Yes.
Definitely
Or
agree.
if you have an issue with one person growing, sometimes sometimes partners don't grow at the same pace. And there is a lot of resentment or
Mhm.
animosity if one person is growing faster than the other one. That's not love either.
That's
Because
true.
if if my partner is doing better than me, then I need to sit back and reevaluate myself. If I feel some type of way about my partner doing better than me, then I need to sit back and reevaluate myself. Like, what do I need to work on within myself to get to a level where we can be here together
I agree.
and not just fighting because you're doing this or I'm stuck here, you're elevating but I'm remaining stagnant. Like that, you got to work together, and you also have to work separately on yourself to be the type of person that you want to be or need to be for the person that you're with.
I agree with that 100%. And the final question that I ask all my indie authors every time I interview them, for someone who is coming up and wants to be at the level that you are, because I know that for you, you're probably still leveling up to where you actually want to be. What's the advice that you would give somebody?
Um, First and foremost, I'm going to say remain true to yourself. Um, Write what you want. Write the story that you want to write. There are always going to be people out there that's going to tell you, oh, I want to hear a story about this person, or I think you should have done it this way. Write the story that you want to write. The story that the characters are speaking to you in your head, write that story. Because at the end of the day, if you're not putting out something that you're happy with, it doesn't matter if the book does well, if the book flops. If you're not happy with what you put out, then I don't feel like you're going to feel like it was successful.
Hmm.
Um, I would also say remain consistent. Um, you have to be vigilant and always promoting yourself, whether you're promoting yourself, if you have somebody like what do you call them, like a social media manager or something
Mm.
like your back catalog needs to always be promoted, because that's the way that you gain new readers. With my publisher tells us, with every release that we put out, that is an opportunity to gain new readers. So when people read something of yours that they really really like, 9 times out of 10 they're going to go back to your back catalog. So you need to remain consistent, even if you don't put out a book every 30 days, every at least every 90 days or so. Even if it's just a little novella, build your back catalog. So if you want to, you can remain consistent. Remaining consistent allows readers to kind of, put faith in you, that even if you're not putting out every month, I can expect to have something from you. Um, I think that's about it. Oh, do your research when you're doing like heavy topics, or like things that you're not familiar with. Like, Google became my best friend. So if I'm not familiar with like a career path, or like the process of like a legal process, I am consistently Googling it, and my Google search is just, it's just filled with all kinds of stuff that I've been looking up. Sometimes I get a little paranoid about that. Like, if it's like
Yeah, look at you.
yes, like I almost want to put in there, like, I'm researching for a book, so I'm not looking to kill anybody or looking for ways to off myself. This is just strictly research for a book. But
Book purposes.
yes.
I feel it. And you talk to me, you just kind of hit the head on the knee when it comes to being consistent and like back and like my backlog. You know, I'm still a newbie. I still like to call myself a newbie. I don't have the like instant of a backlog, but I was just like, I still got 2 books that I really feel as if no one really knows about. So I was like, I need to get on.
Promote
I
it.
was like, I need to get on the ball.
Promote it.
Get on the ball. Well, Kimberly Brown, thank you.
Once a week. Promote
Yeah,
it.
I need to do that definitely. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Course. So I'll be looking out for Courage to Love Again, which comes out
April 23rd of this
April 23rd. Okay, my birthday month.
year.
Great. And then I'll be looking for Mama Walker and Isaac, because I'm super excited. Even though you said, because y'all, I'm in her group, I'm in her reading group. She said that she was not. She said this many times that she was
Yeah.
going to do the novella.
I am standing on business about Mama and Papa Jareau not getting a book. I'm not.
Yes.
It's just,
I feel like they
I
don't
would
even
love to do
like
it, but I just feel like it would be just for the era that they grew up in. I don't know nothing about that. And
yeah.
for the amount of research and everything it would take to make sure that it is accurate, I just don't have the time to devote to that right now, because I have other contracted books. I have another series that I'm going to be working on this year. So I don't have the time for it.
If you're in her reading group, then you already know the series because she introduced the characters.
I did. I wish I could have showed y'all the covers. I used to redid the covers, and they are so, oh my God, they are amazing. I just want to show it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it too
Let
early.
us wait. Let us get
Yes.
this out first.
Y'all like to ask, when is the book coming? after I already said.
I don't ask no more. I'm at the point now where I don't even ask. I'm like, I'll just wait.
Listen,
I'll just wait.
I was very anxious about showing y'all the character, so y'all got that. I'm still looking for the love interest for 2 of the characters. I have 4 of them, but we're gonna see what comes of that.
I'll just wait because I know it's going to be bomb regardless of the situation.
And
Y'all,
it's a little more urban, so
exactly, even better.
yes, I'm trying to get
Even
into
better.
my urban bag this year. We're gonna see how that works out, though.
Even better. I will leave all the links in Miss Kimberly Brown information. I also will leave the link for the Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses event. If you guys have not gotten a ticket yet, please do because they are on the
You should be there. You should definitely be
They're
there.
on the intimate side for 2 days, especially what we have planned is going to be on the intimate side. If you're not there, especially the inaugural year, you're going to miss out. And I don't want you guys to miss out because we have something planned for y'all that I'm not allowed to even say yet. So,
yes. Oh my gosh. We were just talking about that last night.
yes, and I'm super excited because it's going to be something out of my bag that I'm going to be doing something different for me. So I'm super excited. If you guys have not gotten a ticket, please, please, please do. Once again, I'm Kay Reese. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, write what you love. No, I'm sorry. Read what you love and write what you want to read. See you later.
See you.
Can't focus on me.